Hi all, welcome back to my channel. Today I am getting started on a very exciting video. I'm very excited to do this with you guys. So at the end of January, because today's the 30th. So last week I finished House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas because I have House of Flame and Shadow on pre-order. I pre-ordered it back in November and it has finally arrived today. Woo! I'm so excited, guys. So last night I did look up and read the first two chapters, the prologue and the first chapter, and I am already hooked, guys. I cannot wait to read this. And I thought, what better book to do a whole reading vlog on than the House of Flame and Shadow? Like, hello, most anticipated release of 2024, and I'm so excited to be reading it, and being able to take you guys along with me. So I am doing this intro on the 30th, but like I said, last night I read the first two chapters, so I've got a little b-roll of me reading the first two chapters. And let's see what else this book has to offer. See y'all later. Good morning, lovelies. Today is Friday. I actually took off work today, and because today is Friday, and so I'm so excited to pretty much have the whole day to read. And so I'm currently on chapter 13 of House of Flame and Shadow, and let's see how much we can get done in a day full of reading. I'm so excited. I think I'm actually getting through this at a really good pace, for me anyway. So I'm excited to see how much I can get done, because I'm at 17%. So let's get going. Alright guys, just a little update. So I finished chapter 13, and I realized I hadn't talked about the book itself much yet, so I wanted to just give a little small update as I continue that I'm actually finding the book going at a good pace. I'm enjoying the fact of we've got like these three different storylines, and just I love finding out more about the world, Crescent City, everything that Bryce is having to go through and deal with. It's really cool following her now in this third book, and I love the relationship between Rune and Hunt. I find it real nice, and the fact that we're having like an interesting development and getting to learn a little more about the Hind. I mean, I've been very interested in her story and her storyline and this battle that she goes between and trying to like do what's right and gain trust, but it being a hard thing to do, and that's a hard thing for anybody, and I enjoy like seeing her deal with it. And just I'm actually thoroughly enjoying it right now, and I'm 18% of the way in. I'm at chapter 14. What page am I on technically? 148. So I'm already 140 pages in, like, and that's Kindle pages. I don't know how that extends to full book, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it so far. Like it got up and going, like it was quick going, and I think that because it's the third installment and the world is already there, it helps the pace for me, because I know like with the first one, like half the book was just world building, and so it took me until half the book to get into it. And then of course it still did a little bit of it in the second book, but not as much. It's like the world building itself is shrinking with each book to where we get more like story and action and plot. And the fact that this book is still over 800 pages, and that there is, or at least as of right now, there isn't too much world building, only because like with the whole New Realms and where Bryce is and stuff, like yes, but what's cool about it now in the third book, because like in the first book we're just trying to keep up with Bryce and learn as we go, whereas we're in the first book we were like catching up to figure out where we were, what we were doing, how the world of Crescent City worked. Here we're learning it with Bryce, and I find that cool and nice to not be like trying to keep up, you know. It's we are in the same spot as the rest of the characters. We are learning as they learn, and it makes the book much easier to read for me and enjoy it more, because of the fact that I'm not really confused at any point, because what we don't know, they don't know, what they don't know, we don't know, and so it becomes we all learn it together. And so I'm like I said, I'm enjoying it so far. So let's keep going. Okay, so I just finished chapter 14, and like I'm gonna have to find some time now to read A Court of Thorns and Roses. I have the entire series, I just haven't read it yet. The reason I say this, because familiar names popped up. The only name that I'm familiar with in the series are Cassian and is it Feyre? Feyre. I don't know how to say her name, but I know that all of Sarah J. Maas's works are collected like in the same universe. So it's like I'm really curious now. And one of these months I will read A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I want to binge it too. I want to do the entire series because I wanted to do Sarah J. Maas binge in January, but I only got through House of Sky and Breath because it was just such a long book. But I'm like seriously curious now. I'll think about when I want to read it. But yeah, I'm curious to see I'm so excited to read this, guys. I really am. Hi all, welcome back. Today is a Sunday, so it's been, I think, like 2-ish days since I've checked in. I am currently in chapter 17, and I've got a little bit, I didn't get to do too much reading this weekend because I got to participate in MegaCon this weekend, and it's been so much fun. And so because of the con, I haven't gotten to do too much reading this weekend, but currently I have some time in between what I'm doing and what some others are doing, so I'm able to have some time just to sit here and read. And so of course I brought my Kindle along, duh. So I'm currently in chapter 17, and it is absolutely fantastic. I'm loving it, you guys. Like, it's one of those, like, if I'm able to pick it up, like, I only put it down if I have to. I'm enjoying it so much. So let's get into it. Let's keep going and see what happens. Guys, I'm loving it, okay? I can't tell you. So, like, Bryce is still figuring out where she is, and it's like some interesting stuff's happening there. Some interesting stuff that's happening with the guys back at home. And it's like all of the guys are still coming together and trying to, like, they're working with the Viper Queen, and it's like they're like making deals to try to get information or to get places, and it's just, I feel like it's just one turn after another, and I'm loving it. I think I just hit my chin. I'm good, but loving it. Let's keep going. I am on page 176 based off the Kindle pages. I don't know how that correlates to actual book pages, but about 22% of the way through. And I'm so excited to keep going. So let's read. Hi guys, so today is March 30th. It's been a bit since I've checked in on this video, on this vlog. So, of course, at the very beginning, this was back January 30th when House of Flame and Shadow came out, and I had this plan to do this big like read with me vlog and pretty much take you along in my journey of reading the book when it initially came out. And it had taken I got about 40% through in 2 weeks. And then I think I hit February was a rough reading month. And so I ended up hitting a slump while reading House of Flame and Shadow, so I ended up stopping 40% of the way through. And so I decided when I
filmed my April TBR video. One of the prompts, I don't remember the exact prompt, but to fit that prompt, I decided to, because it was the prompt was a book, and read a book by an author with the same initial as you. And so because my name's Megan, I went with M, and so I decided to continue House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. So I figured, why don't, now that I'm back in a better reading mood, why don't I just continue it? And so now I'm able to continue the book, and even though it's now been 2 months since the book released, I'm finally getting back into it, and I'm like, you know what, I already have 40% reading worth of footage. Let me just use it and pick back up where I left off, and just not worry that, oh, hey, it's been 2 months since it released. Anybody and everybody's read it. But at the same time, it's like, I'm gonna read it on my own schedule, and I'm gonna share my thoughts and my process and whatnot in my own time. And I still had this great want to read a new release when it released and share that with you guys. And so I still want to be able to finish this vlog. So I think I am still going to do it, even though it is going to be coming out to you guys much later than the initial intent was, because it took me a month to read House of Sky and Breath. And so I then read House of Flame and Shadow for 2 weeks, and then I stopped. And so now it has also now been over a month since I've picked the book up, that I'm like, you know what, I don't care. I'm going to pick the book back up right where I left off. Luckily, I do remember exactly what happened. I don't have to restart the book, thank God. And I still want to be able to share this experience with you, because I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? Even though I didn't, A, binge the entire thing like I know a lot of people did, B, I wasn't able to read the whole thing when it first came out. And so I figured I'd use this as a great opportunity, A, to keep myself accountable of me reading the book, but also to be accountable of the fact that I will read what I want to read. I will share with you guys what I want to share with y'all, and take you on the experiences that I want to take y'all along with me for. But also, just, I like this because it also helps remind me that I am a human being, that I do have a different schedule than everybody else. I don't read at the same pace as everybody else. I don't have the time to read like a lot of these other booktubers do, and that is okay. So I've got 2 weeks worth of footage from the day that it came out until I stopped reading it, and now I am picking it back up a month and a half after a month and a half break from it, and that is okay. I think I'm more excited about the fact that I don't have to restart it. I can just pick up where I left off. And so I'm coming to you guys because I'm on my way home from a family event, and there was a little bit of downtime, so I was actually able to read a chapter. I picked it up for the first time. I picked it back up for the first time today, and I read a single chapter so far of it. And I kind of had to like quickly remind myself of what was going on. I think I read like the last page of the chapter before, just to make sure that it's like, I am where I think I am, right? And so I then finally remembered everything, and I'm good to go. I don't have to extensively reread anything. So, yeah. Sorry, I'm getting distracted there. I'm getting distracted by traffic. So, I did want to pop on and say hi. And I am coming back to this vlog. It is good. I am hoping to finish it now and just to remind y'all that if, like, hey, you need to take a break from a book or from reading, by all means. You need to wait a month and a half before picking it back up, by all means. I knew that I wasn't gonna. I knew that I was not gonna DNF the book. It was just gonna be. It was like more like a soft DNF. I just needed to set it aside for the time being, and now I'm ready to pick it back up, and that is okay. And you know what? I don't feel bad about bringing. I think by the time this whole vlog is done, it may be like a whole another month, maybe, who knows, so that by the time this comes out, the book will already be out for 3 months. But you know what? Who cares? I don't. I am taking you guys on this trip with me because I want to. By all means, be on this trip with me, but I also just want to be me and be human and just be able to share moments and experiences like this with you, so that way hopefully anybody else out there feeling like they didn't either get to finish a book, it took them too long to read, feeling down for whatever reason, that there are days that there are going to be slumps. There are days that are not going to be good as others. There are days, like, I know there are plenty of days where it's like, I'm not going to read a thing today. That's okay. So I appreciate you guys for coming along this journey with me. I know by the time that you actually see this, it's all just gonna go together, but I know I'm gonna have like dates because of the month and a half break. I'm gonna be putting dates on everything. I know I've got dates. I've already got all of the other footage, the 2 weeks that I've read it already. I've already got the footage put together and edited with dates across it. And so I plan on doing this just to also, because I also like the fact of doing that where you can see the timeline as to which I read the book, and know that it's like, it's okay if you're not reading the book in a straight line. Like, it's okay. You read what you want to read. If you're enjoying it, fantastic. If you don't like it, then put it down. And that happens. I had to put it down for a little bit. I read myself into a slump to where I was getting just too much Crescent City at one time after binging the second one, and then going straight, because I wanted to read House of Flame and Shadow. No, I'm reading House of Flame and Shadow. House of Sky and Breath before Flame and Shadow came out. And so I binged the second book for a full month in order to pick the third book up in time. Come to find out, I end up like putting myself into a reading slump on it. That's okay. But you know what? I'm here now. I'm picking it back up, and I'm very excited to get back into it. Even the small chapter that I read today, I'm like, I'm so excited to be picking this book back up because I've been wanting to finish it. I just didn't have the mindset to finish it for the last month and a half. So I am excited to pick it back up, and I'm hoping to get back on the reading train of House of Flame and Shadow and be able to finish it, give it all my final thoughts, and truly enjoy the book. So I will catch up with y'all later. And thank you so much for joining me on this trip and on this ride. I can't thank you guys enough. Love y'all. finish it out. And so I spent most of my weekend reading, binging it until I finished it. Cause like that ending, I absolutely loved. I loved it. I did rate it 5 stars. From the moment I picked it back up, because I was trying to think about it, it's like I was going back and forth towards the end about whether or not it'd be a 4 or 5 star read. Because I know House of Sky and Breath was a 5 star read, and I stand corrected. In past videos, I said that Bride was my first 5 star read. Come to find out, House of Sky and Breath ended up being my first 5 star read of 2024. And I completely forgot that I had rated it 5 stars. I don't remember what I rated House of Earth and Blood, but I can look, and while I'm editing, I can look and put the results up on the screen for y'all. But I absolutely loved it. It came to a nice conclusion, and I literally almost cried. I almost cried. I am super excited to finally have it done, so that way I can read the remainder of my TBR. The good thing is that the second round through, I didn't feel like it was such a chore to pick up. I actually genuinely enjoyed it. And so I was thinking about it because of like when I picked it back up, I was only 40% of the way through. And so it's like, did I feel like it would be a 5 star through these since I've picked it back up? And I would have to say yes. It just, the world that Sarah J. Maas has created here, it's just, I absolutely loved it. And my only thing with it, that it's like the only reason that it wouldn't have been a 5 star is just the multiple story changes as like frequently to follow like different characters. But in all honesty, like the way that they all came back together kind of solidified everything for me, and it's like, yeah, no, it's definitely a 5 star read. And so I am excited to now read the rest of Sarah J. Maas's work of Throne of Glass and Court of Thorns and Roses. And I will get to those another time, just because I want to get to other parts of my TBR before I do any more Sarah J. Maas. It makes me really excited for the next installment, because I've heard rumors that like she makes a book for every single house, which means that there's still one more house to go, which is, so I'm trying to do this from memory. That's what I get for trying to do from memory, is that I have no memory. But I feel like that the 4th installment would be more of like a, based off of the way that the 3rd one closed out, I feel like the 4th one just pretty much will become almost like an epilogue of sorts, if that makes sense. I just feel like because of how smoothly the 3rd one finished, I could see the 4th one first off picking up either where it left off, or just like a little, like maybe give it like a few months, just because of the way that it ended. And of course I want to try not to give anything away, but I do feel like it'll be a nice, I'm hoping that it'll be a nice lighter read because of where it finished, but knowing the rest of the series are chonkers, I'm not going to be surprised if this ends up being a chonker. But I'll still read it all the same. So I do thank you guys so much for coming on my House of Flame and Shadow journey with me. And if you have read the book, please let me know your thoughts, your ratings. I'd love to know what other people thought about it, because I know that there are very many ranges of thoughts on this book. I personally loved it. And so I want to know what everybody else thought of it. And if you have not read the Crescent City series, I do recommend it. And just a reminder to take your time and do things when you either A, are ready, or B, want to. And there's no right or wrong way to do things. You take life at your own pace. And I think that's been a big thing for me reading House of Flame and Shadow, is just taking it at my own pace and not worrying about anything else. And so I appreciate y'all coming along with me, and have a wonderful day, week,